Hello, welcome to the Three Guys Talk About Games. You might notice that since last week, one of our number has changed quite a bit. It's alright, he had a sex change operation. He's a man now.
Nice. You're
That's
still a
good to
virgin though. Yes, we have Man of Doom here,
Hello.
filling in for Jake, who is at a, I don't know, strip club or something.
He's currently drowning in a swamp, I think.
He's currently drowning in a sea of people, although he won't be for much longer, because I understand that he made a cripple ill.
Which is quite the thingy. The game in the background is Terraria, the new patch with bunnies. So yes, what happened in the last week then, guys?
E3
Well,
apparently.
Apparently.
I'll tell you what.
I wasn't there, but
Yeah.
I think it did happen.
Yeah, unless it was all just a big conspiracy, and none of it really happened.
Yeah, it was all my Nintendo.
Yeah,
Fucking
Nintendo. Nintendo made a massive mistake, of course.
Did they?
Yeah, a lot of
They
people.
announced a new console. That's pretty amazing.
I don't think
Well,
that's
yeah.
a mistake.
Yeah, the mistake they made, in fact, was having their press subdomain login details leaked to the general public.
Yeah, that is a bit of a faux pas.
By 4chan, good old 4chan.
Well, as far as I understand, it was 4chan. Who else could it be?
They do
There are a
everything
lot
now,
of people, but it could probably 4chan. They are trouble.
I mean, it was 4chan's fault that Project Zomboid got leaked as well, right?
It was, yes. And that looked pretty good.
Yeah. Anyway, E3, Nintendo announced their new console, the Wii U, focusing on, well, what seemed to be just a controller.
Yeah. Although,
Yeah, it wasn't clear that they were announcing a new console for some time.
No,
It
no.
did appear to be an add-on for the Wii for a little
Yeah,
Oh,
it still does appear to be an add-on for the Wii to me.
bit. But it's got a new console with it, though.
Yeah,
A mighty
con-
console.
console we haven't seen images of yet, or proof that
I've
it
seen
even
pictures of
exists.
it.
I haven't.
You not seen images? It looks
Yeah.
like the 360 but smaller, basically.
Oh, okay.
It's kind of like a big round Wii.
Oh, I see.
okay.
Do you? I've been thinking recently about trying to fit my Wii into one of my PC drive bays.
If I could fit it in my pocket, you could probably fit it now.
What kind of pockets have you got?
That was back in the days when I had gigantic trousers. Covered in
Ah, I
pockets.
see. Well, a person like you needs gigantic trousers.
I am quite tall. Much taller than Jake.
Yeah, which is quite odd considering you were him up until a few days ago when you had your sex change operation.
It's not just gender they can change now. They give you, long legs.
Ah, I see. Very interesting.
Tall octopus.
And tidy hair.
Yeah. So pretty much everything that was speculated rumor about the Wii U turned out to be true. A controller with a 6.2-inch screen attached to it, touch screen.
Yeah, HD, finally. Only took them forever.
Yeah, more powerful than the PS3.
Well,
I
yeah,
mean,
it is a new generation
In all,
console.
in all,
I really,
in all
I really
fairness,
think-
not a huge feat these days because it was a while since PS3 came out.
Yeah.
But
really
still
think-
quite good.
What the
I
hell
think
was
it's
that?
quite- What was that? What was what?
There was a lot of rubbing. It sounds like you're masturbating.
No. That
We are pretty sexy fellas.
There's a shadow orb down there, you know?
was. Well, that doesn't matter. You can summon pretty much any boss and I'll defeat it in like 12 seconds.
Anyway, back to podcast rather than playing the
Yeah.
game.
Yeah,
because
the
otherwise we'll
Wii-
get-
Back to podcast. Luke is feeling left out. Yeah, everything that was speculated by the about the Wii U controller turned out to be true, and I got to read it all off the actual Nintendo press release itself. Because
Thanks to 4chan. Thanks to 4chan.
no, for all intents and purposes, we can't actually advocate that I accessed that subdomain.
I'll just censor out 4chan, shall I?
Yes, thank you.
for beep. Whoops. Oh shit. Oh,
Beep Chan.
Beep.
I might have been talking about 12chan. You know, the even worse side.
Or 6chan.
They're all bad. All the Chans, apart from Jackie Chan, he's pretty good.
Quite a lot of segueing in this one.
Yeah, there is quite a lot of segueing. You might have to edit some shit out.
Yeah, we should probably talk about the Wii U rather than about how you found out some stuff about the Wii U.
Well, what can you say about the
What
Wii
was
U?
this stuff you found out?
Is there anything about the Wii U that anybody was particularly surprised about?
Well, I only spend time hanging around with the indie crowd on the internet, so I don't get most of the mainstream news. So they only knew it was called Project Cafe, really, and that there was probably going to be some cool stuff going on.
Well, to be perfectly honest, I can't really say anything surprising happened concerning the Wii U. It was all expected. But, you know, it seems pretty cool for what it's worth. A lot of people are dismissing it as just another gimmick.
Yeah, I hope they go and actually put good games on rather than not good
Well,
games.
they can now, really, because they've got a controller they can work with most. Like, if you consider all the Xbox PS3 games, you could work any of those with that controller and the power that it's got there. They can do that now. And you can do a bunch of other stuff because you've got a screen and motion control. You basically got all the gimmicks together, so you can mix and match. And you've got a controller that works like a proper controller.
Yeah,
So
for
you
gimmicks.
can do whatever you want now. You can have gimmicks, you can have proper games.
Yeah.
I think it's good.
Actually, if you allow me to scale my for the briefest of seconds, I think I have a list of games that have already been announced for the Wii U. Somewhere.
Please go ahead. I've seen some that have been announced. I know that the new Aliens game's coming out, which look kind of cool.
Yes, I've been very busy this week, so I didn't scour the internet for stories. So basically, we've been trying to... We've spent, what, an hour?
Make
I
stuff
was
up.
mainly trying to get games to work.
Yeah. Because Luke doesn't have Minecraft.
No.
And,
Luke couldn't,
I certainly couldn't operate Ace of Spades.
no.
Luke couldn't operate Minecraft even if he did have it.
No.
Poor Luke. Anyway, please excuse me while I attempt to get up this list of games. It might not even be a list of games for the Wii U, you know. I don't think any games have been announced so far.
I think there was a trailer with a lot of games, wasn't there?
Wasn't there a new Zelda one coming out, which actually
Yeah,
looks
there's
quite pretty?
actually that was a tech demo.
Was
That
it?
wasn't a Zelda. I think they will do a new Zelda on it, obviously. It'd be mad not to. But the one they showed, I think, was a tech demo.
It
which
did look
is a
quite
sh-
good.
But obviously they're working on Skyward Sword, so they can't making two Zelda games at once. Not these days.
Skyward Sword, is that for the 3DS, isn't it?
You
No,
know,
that's on the Wii.
Is it?
yeah.
Haven't you heard that?
It's
Well, I
on the
suppose you
Wii.
won't be up on the Wii stuff these days.
Oh, I
Will
don't like Wii.
Skyward Sword is for the Wii. Last year's
I know you're a big Zelda
E3,
fan.
they demonstrated Shigeru Miyamoto playing the game on the Wii with the Wii Motion Plus, and it didn't work at all.
I can't imagine the Wii Motion Plus doing a lot for it. One-to-one sword fighting just sounds impossible to work.
And especially the interface lag as well. There would be at least some.
Yeah, a little. I mean, it worked quite well. On Twilight Princess, where you just swished it.
Yeah,
and you
waggled
did
it
that.
about a little bit.
You didn't have to do a lot, but you know, it was something. It felt like you were more involved in the fight. I mean, the only thing that didn't really work was the shield attacks, because the nunchuck is far harder to use motion-wise than the remote. Because you hold it at a funny angle anyway, because it's where your fucking stick is. So you're not used to moving that around to do things.
Yeah, it took me years to actually figure out the actual the controller usage for those shield-based.
I know, it was dead odd. When you had to do them to get stuff to happen, it took bloody ages. That was the only real problem. I thought Twilight Princess was a very good game. I thought it controlled quite well in the shield. And I thought a lot of it was filler material at the start, to be honest.
Oh yeah.
The start with
Especially
all the stuff with the wolf was just a huge waste of time. Everything where you were Link was great fun, but when you were being a bloody wolf, it was rubbish until about halfway through the game where you could actually do something.
And the farming, I hated that part.
I don't even remember that part.
The other not exactly farming. You didn't go out and like farm materials.
Anyway,
Yeah.
talking about games from the next generation rather than the first one out for the last Nintendo console. I know that the Aliens Colonial Marines is going to be on it. And it looks really good.
Is it going to be?
Because-
Do you think it's going to be any better than Alien vs Predator?
Yeah, that was made by Rebellion, and they aren't that good.
No,
They only
no,
had almost one good campaign in there.
Almost.
Well, the Marine campaign was mostly really, really good because it was like a horror game. It worked really well because, well, Aliens are perfect setup for a horror game. They're brilliant, and they were mainly based around being horror. Playing the Alien was a really fucking hard stealth game with unnecessary levels of violence. It did make me uncomfortable. Some of the stealth kills you had to perform. Playing the Predator just didn't work very well because he was jumping all over the place. He's got gadgets. All his fighting's melee, apart from when he's got his laser gun, which only works some of the time. It was just a mess. But luckily, it was very short.
Ah, I see.
Seems-
I remember
Yeah.
I remember playing Rebellion's original Alien vs Predator first-person shooter. I thought that was a lot better, but unfortunately it's damn near impossible to get it work on modern machines.
Yeah, I tried that actually. I had it on my other computer and it just didn't work.
As with most things right now.
Yeah.
Well, I
apparently.
don't know about that. I'm pretty sure that if you gave me like half an hour or so, I could suss out how to get us all connected to a good old-fashioned game of multiplayer Doom.
Some Quake.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind
Quake
Doom. Well, actually, Doom isn't great in multiplayer. Well, co-op is actually. Co-op's a lot of fun. But versus
Four-player
is
co-op?
so severely unbalanced. 4-player co-op, yeah. Well, some good stuff.
Nice. Anyway,
Yeah, anyway, modern stuff. Yeah, I know that Aliens Colonial Marines have been announced. There's a Ninja Gaiden thing coming out on it.
Oh,
I hope
yeah.
it's ridiculously hard.
Well, it
Oh,
always
look,
is.
it's
isn't
on a
it?
Nintendo console, so it might have to be a bit easier. Things aren't
What?
Nintendo hard these days on Nintendo consoles.
Well, that's rather stupid.
Well, they're appealing to a different demographic. I mean, they didn't need
apparently,
Nintendo hard
but
then.
to-
It was just unnecessary.
I love
just-
Nintendo hard games. I mean,
But they're
I've never,
unplayable for the most part.
I've never beaten the original Ninja Gaiden, but I got to the last boss. Well, the second version of the last boss, because you defeat him, and then there's a second form, and after that, apparently, there's a third form that I've never earned the right to see.
You're not good enough. Which
No.
is good, because
I'm simply not.
people, games nowadays just don't punish you for being shit. Which they should do.
I don't know what's going.
Anyway, I couldn't actually find a list of games for the Wii U. I must have remembered incorrectly. I do have a list of games.
I might have a look at the trailer.
I do have a
Actually.
list of games upcoming for the 3DS. So.
No one cares about that now.
What? What's wrong with the 3DS?
Everything. It's 3 fucking D.
I like that it's quite a powerful
Three-
handheld.
The 3D
But,
is
the 3D isn't very good.
the
And if it's
3D was
optional, you've lost most of what the handheld's actually about.
well. No, I don't believe you have, because the handheld is still a powerful handheld, and it's still the next generation of Nintendo handhelds. So I don't see a problem with it.
I just don't like the 3D.
It's just that I think the Vita, which is a bloody awful name, but it's a lot stronger and it can probably do tons more. And it's probably going to be a slightly better handheld.
What, the Vita? Are you serious?
Yeah, I think
don't-
the PSP, if I'd have had one, I would have been very pleased with it because it had a really good library of games.
Well,
Especially Mercury.
And I've got the trailer on now, so I'll tell you some games that it looks like are coming out for it.
fair
And
enough.
get out of the way, Reggie. No, stop it. Show some game. Right, it's coming up. There's a door and a painting. They're probably going to show us people playing on the Wii U. Oh yeah, there's a new Super Mario Bros. Game for it.
Oh,
let's hope that's any
Where you can use your Mii's to play apparently.
well,
You can play it on the little screen instead of on the telly.
Oh, nice.
you know,
That's one of the games you can do that with.
I never really liked the fact that they had the Mii's. It seemed like they were just trying to reply to Microsoft for their. There are fishers.
You are aware.
There are fishers in Terraria now.
Yeah, there are. Yeah, I'm pretty
Nice.
sure that Mies came before
Yeah,
we.
these were way before the
Fish.
avatars.
Fishy,
Well,
fishy.
In
Come on,
in
go
which
on.
case,
Nintendo copied Microsoft in the
Did they?
past.
in which case,
Oh,
They didn't.
Did they
Microsoft Avatars only came with like the 3rd system update, didn't they?
yeah, that's what I was saying.
I wouldn't know. I've never owned an Xbox 360. Besides,
Fire in the hole.
Quite uninformed on this whole issue.
in which case, though, I believe that means that Nintendo has no decent excuse for why their player avatars look so shit compared to Microsoft's.
Because they did them first, then Microsoft way improved on the concept. They might improve them with the Wii U,
It should
but
do.
they just felt rubbish.
I don't
In all
think they are
fairness,
going.
it is a much weaker console than the 360. But they should be able to make them at least look presentable now. They've got power.
Yeah, and they've got HD.
Please.
Yeah.
HD.
Well, fair
Right.
enough.
You can see all the details on their little emoticon faces.
You can see all the details painted
fish.
on their faces like they're
fish.
small mannequins.
Yeah. They're just drawn on in permanent marker.
We need a bucket.
On the Wii U, it looks like there's going to be drawing games, and you can play some sort of tiny little board games on it.
I can see it now. Mario Paint 2 is a distinct possibility.
Yeah, I think they've got a tablet out for the current Wii, which
It is?
seems like it's going to be fairly redundant now that the Wii U's coming out. Bad timing.
I see.
There's a drawing game on it, yeah. But now they've got this, which will work with all the games, you know.
Isn't Mario Paint the music one?
That's a SNES game. I think there was a music function to it.
Well, Mario Paint wasn't
complete.
just
Wii
Mario
Sports
Paint
probably
wasn't
gonna be
just
better.
Mario Paint wasn't just the music composer. It was a composition of many different mini game ish type things.
Yeah, for example, a painting game. That's what I call Mario Paint.
Exactly.
It wasn't just a really strange, outlandish name. They're going to have a new Wii Fit, presumably.
Oh, wonderful.
Oh, brilliant!
Yeah.
Just in case nerds develop a sense of
Well, they've
What
got
was
their whole new
fitness?
market, haven't they?
what's that thing called that people generally use when they work out.
Sweat.
People
Grit.
use sweat.
Yeah, they used to cool themselves down. That's what sweat's for. Sweat
Yeah, but it-
evaporates.
It,
cool
it
them.
never
You can make
really
video
worked all
calls
that.
on the Wii U, apparently.
Oh well, that's a feature that's aided everything else that ever tried to use it.
It's like FaceTime on the iPhone.
Yeah.
Well, it's given because the Wii U's got a different demographic to a lot of consoles. I suppose many people would want that.
Well, yeah, it would be kind of futuristic, and it would simplify the whole matter if you could do it through your TV at home.
And now they've got online that works. It might be good. And because you've got
Yeah.
a camera in your controller, you're not going to have to faff around with anything. I know that they've got Kinect and stuff now on the Xbox, but most people don't have Kinect. It's not that good.
No,
But if you've got
no.
that with it, you're going to always be able to do video chat with your friends. It could be like what we're doing now, but with a video.
I thought the Kinect was pretty good compared to
Kinect's
the Move.
alright, it just doesn't. Yeah, well, the movie's just a really bad copy of the remote. Kinect would be good in a few years when they worked out all the bugs. It's just unreliable at the moment. It will be very good when it's ready, I think. But it just isn't now. Better to get it out, so never make enough money to make the next one. Probably the next Xbox will have a lot of focus on Kinect. Because it will be very good, I think. When the
Like,
technology works.
Yeah,
It
when
will be
PS3
brilliant.
just came out, no one knew how to use it.
I wasn't particularly.
Who has that
taken
many
in-
calls? Really?
I wasn't taken in by the concept of the Kinect when it was first announced, and I'm still not taken in by it.
I think it will be very good when it works properly. It's a shame you have to stand up, you need a lot of room. Other than that, gaming without a control pad could work well in a lot of things. It could have.
Well, yeah,
Well,
but it
stop.
also has the potential for disaster in a lot of situations. As well.
You won't end up launching things into telly like the Wii.
Well, no, you don't really have to hold anything, but what I'm really concerned about is the fact that somebody might try and innovate with a game type that already has a well-established control system that works with your standard controller, such as a first-person shooter. Could you imagine?
You know that first-person shooters work really well on the Wii.
Well, yeah.
Have you not played Metroid Prime? Brilliant.
I have. Of course I have. I've lent my copy of Metroid Prime.
Yeah, actually. Yeah, Metroid Prime. Yeah, it upgraded them all. They're all better now. They did have quite bad controls before, in all fairness, because the GameCube pad wasn't very good.
I think the
The
best
smoothest
thing that came,
FPS played, probably.
I think the best thing that came out of Metroid Prime Trilogy was the improved loading times.
That's pretty handy. Yeah, it doesn't crash when you go down that corridor anymore.
Yeah.
Where you have to slow down and speedrun. There's one when you first get to Norfair, there's a very long corridor. And if you run down it too quickly in one direction, it will crash, because that's the string next to the game. But sometimes can't manage it. So in speedruns, you'll see people slow down in that corridor. So it's not crashing.
Because they're like, if we don't slow down, our whole speedrun attempt is in the face.
Yes, you're going to be fucked. They've lost, well, probably about 10 minutes because it's speedrunners. But it will be very annoying. But yeah, what were we on about? Oh, controls.
Yeah, I was say we segued quite a bit there, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, at least it's a speedrun game.
If we lead the conversation into unpredictable territory, then people won't really know what to expect from us, and that's always good because.
I suppose you do at least manage to cover a lot of different things.
Yeah.
You were saying about games of established genres using new controls. Where are you going with that?
Well, I could never. Maybe it's just the fact that I've been kind of nurtured with games that use the standard, actual physical controller control system. But I really never was a big fan of any of any control system that would advocate removing the controller altogether.
No, until recently there wasn't any such system possible. So it kind of belonged that you've not been an advocate of it.
Well, I don't know. I was aware of the Kinect for a lot longer than many other people I know, because it was announced, and it was announced that it was in development. Like there was a project aiming towards developing this technology. And nobody really paid attention to it, but when it came to E3, everybody was all over it, and I was like, didn't people already know about this? My uncle was the first one that made me feel this way. He came to me and told me, do you know about this? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, I heard about this just the other day, and I was like, really? I heard about it like a year ago.
Yeah, you seem to hear about things through different channels than most people.
Yeah, I do. I have my ways.
Big channel, apparently. Yeah, I think in a lot of genres it will work very well. I mean, I can't see it working in FPSs, because, where would you get motion controls from? But in some things I think it would work. In, I don't know, an RTS it would probably work. You could work through your menus quite quickly, you could point at units, give commands. Because it accepts voice commands as well, which will obviously get better and better as time goes on.
I would love to play Dawn of War.
I agree. RTS is an RTS game will probably be excellent on the Kinect, but you do know that Commander and Conquer was released for the iPad when it surfaced, and
nice.
and I reckon the iPad does a much better job than the Kinect would do. You don't need to move half as much for for one.
Yeah, but you're not getting involved.
Yeah, you are.
You're not actually pointing your arms and giving commands. It sounds fun. Even if it is a bit of a novelty, it does sound quite entertaining to do.
It sounds fun to shout at people, is what you're saying.
Yeah, in a way. And then them do what you told them to.
It's always
That's
fun to
always
shout
a
at
bonus.
It's always a bonus when they actually do exactly what you want them to do.
I think for rail shooters it could work quite well.
Well, yeah, actually, you got to.
Because you can if you get it can identify peripherals and things. So if you got like a gun peripheral with it, and you could work that with it, and it can tell where you are, so you can like set up cover as the game demands. So you can like put markers down for where cover is. You can go and hide behind things, and it will react what you're doing.
Alright, but in that case, what's to stop you from just building a big wooden board with a hole in it?
I expect what it would do is it would advise you on a layout, and you'd use that layout, and then you would interact with it through that.
Seems overly complicated, don't you reckon? You'd have to amass...
I think it would be a little complicated, but it would be really cool as well.
You would have to amass a decent amount of furniture in variety in order to ensure that you have...
could probably do... I mean, because it can identify markers, then it could obviously plot them in virtual space as objects. If you had just... I saw a video where someone was sort of using it for this sort of thing, and there's still like piece of paper with an X on it, and that's part of the terrain. A bit of paper with an X on it, somewhere else that's part of the terrain. And like he had something on him, so it knew that he was the guy who was running around, and if you couldn't see that marker, he was hidden.
Ah, I see.
It does sound a little complex. I think if they could find a way to do it and make it cheap, it would work very well. Because it could be like Time Crisis, but without that silly pedal. And you would actually pop out ground cover and start shooting at people. That would be quite cool.
Yeah, that would be kind of cool.
Like an arcade in your home. That's what people have always wanted since consoles came out. Like having an arcade in your home.
People have always wanted virtual reality, and now that we're offered it, we're not so sure anymore.
We just want an easy and better way of doing things.
Yeah, we've grown lazy as a species.
Of course we have.
Easy and better aren't always the same thing.
Hello.
Simon, I believe you mentioned something about Saints Row 3 last episode. We didn't really rub on that very much.
Yeah, you got much talent.
I actually have had a fleeting look at the Saints Row website, and as you say, or as you said prior to the podcast starting, they have changed the visual style quite heavily.
That was actually Luke.
Oh, I did mention that, yeah.
Luke, Simon, you're all the same to me. You're just humans.
We're just voices flinging into your ears.
My head.
We're not real. Kill your parents.
Well, that wouldn't exactly be difficult for me.
Difficult and appropriate. Not the same thing. Probably shouldn't do it.
Yes, Saints Row 3.
Just as a disclaimer.
Yeah. What are our thoughts on the second one?
I thought Saints Row 2 was excellent.
Other than excellent. Do we have any qualms about it?
What?
Eventually, some of the mini games are a bit too hard. It was hard to tell what you were actually supposed to do. I think they put a lot of stuff in, and they didn't need all of it.
Yeah, they put far too much stuff in. I think they could have got rid of the septic tank stuff.
No, I thought that was really good.
Oh.
It did go on too long.
Yeah.
But I thought they could have got rid of half of it, maybe.
They definitely need to add in more insurance for your fraud.
Yeah, insurance fraud is amazing. That's the best bit of the game, probably.
Yeah.
In fact, that's all I did on Saints Row 1, I remember now. I didn't do the missions because it was too hard to get to them. I just did so much for the
That was pretty freaking sweet.
I remember when I was playing Saints Row 2, I had my character change sexes regularly.
Okay. Any particular reason?
I don't know, it just appealed to me in a weird way.
I would have thought it appeared to Jake, since he's just had a sex change.
Yeah,
well,
into a big strapping bloke.
Modest as well.
Well, how many other games are you going to have the chance to have a sex change in? I mean, it's escapism. It's escapism at its finest. You can have a sex change in the game with no consequences the day after.
Just kind of permanent in real life.
Like
generally.
South Park, where Mr. Garrison changes into a female.
And then he wants to become a man in a later episode. But
I haven't seen South Park in ages.
Actually, speaking of South Park, somebody recently brought to my attention that there was a recent episode of South Park talking about L.A. Noire.
That's really fucking quick.
Anyway, what were they saying about L.A. Noire? Just stay on topic.
I'm not certain exactly, but I haven't actually seen the episode. but
Just know that it exists, probably.
but from what I heard, it basically highlighted the game's tendency to repeat itself about 1 billion times over. Like 95% of the content was all the same. And you know, I don't know how true this is because.
Sounds like Oblivion.
Well, yeah, actually, come to think of it, that makes. A
Speaking of Oblivion, we'll talk about Skyrim in a bit.
Yeah, Skyrim does sound kind of cool.
Yeah, I've heard a lot about Skyrim as well. I only wasn't speaking about it because it's just one of those games that the more you talk about it, the more you want it. And I don't want to cause any of your dedicated viewers any more.
My
Yeah, but
dedicated viewers.
it's coming up, you know. We should talk about it. But
Anyway, what were we talking about?
we're going to talk about Skyrim a bit.
Oh yes.
Yeah, from what I've seen of Skyrim, it looks very good. But of course, you know, this is coming from somewhat of a fanboy of the Elder Scrolls series. I've been into it for a very long time now. So, you know, you can't take my word for it. You're going to have to go discover the greatness for yourself.
Or be disappointed.
Amongst
That
the-
level of hype.
It's like Haze.
it does have quite a lot of hype. I remember, basically I've liked Skyrim on Facebook, and there was an update the other day. They put a giant banner up in Chicago. I think it was Chicago, across 3 buildings that advertised Skyrim, and it was really fucking massive. It was a massive banner of ultimate advertisement.
Like Ultimate Destiny.
Yeah.
Smooth. Have we got anything to say about the actual game other than it's probably going to be really good?
It's got
I know that
drag-
they've simplified some of the systems, like the skill system apparently.
yeah.
Which I don't mind, because it didn't work very well in Oblivion.
Actually,
It's a bit of a mess.
if you've played Oblivion, you're going to understand all of what I'm saying. If you haven't, I'm sorry. Go play Oblivion, so you have the the point of reference that I'm
The
using.
mental capacity to do so.
Yeah. But in Oblivion, you had your attributes, which were basically strength, endurance, agility, that sort of thing. And you had your skills, which consisted of blade, block, blunt, all those sorts of things. And in Skyrim, they're removing the attributes completely, and your skills, the primary. Your skills are basically the prime, meaningful numbers that your character holds to themselves, rather than the attributes. Because
That's
the
Probably a
The
better idea.
yeah, it actually sounded a lot better to me when I first heard it as well. I'm very pleased that they've made that decision.
I think it makes sense.
Wow.
Rather than just trying to, if you want to do it as best you can, trying to just raise the right thing so it will give you the opportunity to have a specific bonus. Which that was just too complex for most people to bother with.
And a lot of things were changed when people modded it.
Yeah, that's what something that
Get
I
out of
don't
there.
necessarily agree with. That they're like, oh, there'll be mods for it anyway. It's like they should make a good game to start with. You shouldn't have to mod it to make it good.
Yeah, yeah.
That's like
and-
when they just used to release unfinished games on PC. It's like, oh, we'll patch it. We're fine. And they sort of do
Just
that
one
for some console games now. They did that on Fable 2.
Yes,
another
apparently.
another change they've made that I like, that I've seen in the trailers, is the ability to dual wield weapons
Oh, awesome.
and pretty
I
much
love dual
anything you want. Because staves in Oblivion, you couldn't use them as melee weapons. They had magical charges, and you had to use them standalone. You couldn't use swords or shields with them, meaning that when you were using them, if the stave had a non-offensive magical charge on it, you were pretty much defenseless completely. So nobody ever used saves in Oblivion for that very
They should have
reason.
put them as an item. Well, not an item. They should have used it as part of the spell system. So
Yeah.
the spell key would have fired it off.
Yeah, the first staff you ever got, you always sold anyway. So,
Yeah, that was the one from the Goblin Shaman.
yeah. They've
Uh,
also They've also said that Yeah, I just accidentally threw all of my health potions down this massive hole. Yeah, they said that all the world is apparently the same size as Oblivion.
Is there as much dungeons in it? Because there were too many in Oblivion. You can't design that many dungeons and have them all good.
Well, let's be frank. The dungeons in Oblivion were all very much the same. They were all made up of the same blocks, the same building blocks, and as a consequence, they really didn't look all that diverse.
Like you'd seen one, you'd seen most of them.
Yeah, precisely. There were actually 4 types of dungeons. There were caves, Iliad ruins, and 2 other kinds of dungeons that I can't remember at the current time. But basically, they had 4 different visual styles applied to all the dungeons, and that was pretty much it.
There's not a lot. Even if they'd just done a couple of more visual styles, it would have made the game a lot more varied.
Yeah,
if only to look at it would have felt like they put more effort in.
If they had 6 visual styles in total, it would have been a huge improvement.
Oh shit!
I'm not sure what they would have done with those visual styles in that setting.
Jake, not Jake. Will, help.
Yeah. What's that?
Bone Serpent is here.
Skyrim also has the inclusion of dragons, and as far as I understand, the in-game dragons are going to frequently appear across the entire landscape. They're not going to be scripted, so are
they just going to turn up and completely fuck you up?
Yeah, dragons can be anywhere.
That will annoy me.
And their flight patterns are completely unscripted. They don't just appear at certain parts of the game. They're a recurrent enemy. I'm actually looking forward to him doing a review of the real Duke Nukem Forever. After all, he did a fake review of it a while ago, when it looked like it was never going to actually be released.
Yeah.
Now it has, and everybody wishes it hadn't.
Yeah.
At least it could have been good in theory.
Oh. Segueing nicely onto Duke Nukem 3D.
Or Forever.
Forever, that's the one.
Duke Nukem 3D was apparently quite good.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough, I was actually rewatching the older trailers that were released for Duke Nukem Forever, particularly the one that was released in 2001 to showcase the game's change to a different engine, because during its whole course of development it changed engines exactly once. Well, twice at the change from Quake to Quake 2, but I don't, because they're practically pretty much exactly the same apart from a few minor things.
Probably would have been more cosmetic based.
But you go ahead, and this goes for everyone listening as well. Go ahead, watch the watch all the new trailers, the 3 newest trailers Gearbox released to promote Nukem 3D prior to its recent release, and then watch the 2001 trailer and be awestruck in the sudden realization that in the 10 years after the 2001 trailer was released, they made absolutely no major innovation whatsoever, and in fact the 2001 trailer looks like a better product than the version that's just been released.
Just doesn't look very good.
Well, you got to look at it retrospectively. In 2001, you would not have seen anything like this.
Yeah, I haven't seen a lot of Duke Nukem Forever. I've just seen Total Biscuit play it, and it looked rubbish. It looked really boring and slow to start. It looked unpolished, and the level design was really bland.
And linear. Did you watch both of them?
I only watched
I
watched the first bit. I watched about 40 minutes of it.
No, he played like the start, and then he gave a whole like 25 minute, I think it was, discussion about what he liked about it and what he disliked about it. Afterwards, it was quite good. But then Total Biscuit's pretty good anyway.
Yeah, he's generally a pretty good fella.
Well, anyway. Oh, actually, There's something else I've noticed about Terraria, which is relevant to Final Fantasy, which we mentioned briefly.
Is it that they'd ripped the sprites from the Final Fantasy remakes?
I don't think.
Original release.
I don't think it's that they ripped the sprites, but the sprites are definitely reminiscent of the sprites.
They
from-
did rip them, and then they changed them very, very quickly.
Yeah, that was very silly. of them.
They're basically drawn over the top of the original sprites.
Well, it certainly looks that way. Even the animation looks exactly the same.
How hard would it have been to do an animation other than the dude's hands straight up in the air?
Well, not particularly.
It's just lazy.
Well, that's how business goes now.
Just steal other people's stuff.
Happens all the time in the video games industry.
Yeah, you don't usually steal their actual content though. You steal their ideas. That's alright.
Well, I wouldn't call it the actual content though.
Well,
There
it
are-
technically was. It was the actual art assets. And then they very quickly changed them to ones
Where
that
did
just.
you- Where did you read this?
I
There?
saw it on the original trailer. They were actually using them.
Oh, okay.
It got leaked somehow, so they had to release it much sooner than they were supposed to.
It's like Project Zomboid.
So they actually accidentally left them in, and then they very, very quickly changed them, I believe.
Oh, wow. That's
To be fair, if
That's
they were
impressive.
placeholders, then good choice for placeholders.
yeah.
It's just that the placeholders look almost exactly the same as the new ones. In fact, they only changed just enough to get away with it in terms of copyright law, really.
Yeah, actually, I think the characters' faces have been contracted by a couple of pixels on the second and third lines down, or something like that.
Oh, that makes it okay.
You can't really change much. It is pixel art.
You can do a
I
lot.
don't know. You can do a surprisingly large amount with pixel art.
There are like bajillions of games that came out before games with 3D with lots of very nice pixel art. It's quite varied.
True.
I mean, just think about all the Final Fantasy games before Final Fantasy 7. They're all pixel art. It just happens that they ripped off a remake of a Final Fantasy game. Yeah, I make games, and they're pretty good. I'd say. I recently made one called Psycho Sock, and it got some good feedback. If I can get the internet to work, I'll quote some of that feedback to you now. Well, where's my website?
And
I'll
the
read
internet
that
must be
next
working
website.
because you're talking to us.
Just waiting for Firefox to work. Because it's stupid. Yes, one player commented, "Okay, that scared me. I think I might need professional help now." This is clearly a game you should all be.
That's,
that
that's a magnificent
It's
comment
called
there.
Psycho Sock.
Where is that?
It's at manofdoom.weebly.com. If you go there, you will find my games. And music. Well, a bit of music, a bit of art, some writing stuff. I just do all sorts of things. I've also got a couple of other games. Criminal Lunacy is a good one. It's about robbing people on the moon, and they try to stone you to death. Saloons of Death. It's mouse-only controlled run and gun about cowboys. And Cave Full of Spiders. It's about a man in a cave full of spiders.
It's a classic
Oh,
game,
yeah.
that is. Classic. You should all
Yeah.
play it.
Yeah.
It's got destructible terrain and everything.
Yes, I will attempt to... What's his
Yeah,
name? One
everyone
of
go
these.
play those games.
I will attempt to link all of them.
Yay!
I'm not promising anything.
I'm going to leave.
You're going to leave?
Yeah, I'm off.
Oh no.
Well, we should probably finish then.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
should probably.
It's been a while. I've done quite a bit of talking. Yeah, I think it went fairly well. Say we didn't really have any aim in mind. It'll go better when we got Jake next week, because
Yeah,
there's more stuff I disagree with Jake on than you do.
everything.
Yeah, so I was having a big argument with Jake next week.
Oh, I got a goldfish! Yay! You just pick it up.
Yeah, I'm
Cool.
off.
Okay,
I'm gonna
so we
do-
should finish this.
Away.
Anyway,
Bye bye.
see ya.
And that was Luke, and we should now indeed finish. So, that was our hour or so worth of talking about video games in not really any sort of fashion. So, It's goodbye from me, and it's goodbye from the guy
Me?
that's 200 feet away.
Yeah, goodbye, guys.
See you, Will.
I'll be right back. I just got to turn the volume down. It's
The Valium?
I was going to say Valium.
Yeah, I need to turn the volume down. I'm taking too much, man. No, the volume. Not volume as in mass, but volume as in as in
Obviously.
audible.
Oh,
Volume.
the semantics of the situation.
Who are we on about now? Are we talking
Jake.
about Jacob?
Oh, of course we're talking about Jake. He's still a virgin.
Why are we talking about Jake? My God, I'm so angry with him right now.
Of course we have. In medieval days, when they wanted to do a podcast, they'd have to, you know, go around to each other's houses.
Yeah, and then what?
And then get someone who know how to read and write, so they could write it all down. And then have someone invent a printing press so they could distribute it.
Or they just have to sit around endlessly writing several copies, or make one copy and trust people to pass it on once they're done with it.
Or they have to get everyone around and just do it live. Which I believe did sort of. I mean, that's sort of like theatre. But very much improvisational theatre with no real topic.
Do you think they had a talk show back in them days?
No,
Welcome to ye old talk show.
I don't think the human race was quite that subverted back then.
I think most people were busy dying. It wasn't easy.
Yeah.
then.
It is true that back in them days, there a lot of people did die quite often.
They had such short lifespans, you couldn't afford to piss around with talk shows.
Yeah, you had to get down to
Or
the
video
serious
games. Such trifling matters.
Yeah, at least what we're saying right now relates to video games in some way.
Yeah, it's tangential, but it is kind of there.
This is an important point to be made. We
It
have
is,
to we have to
What
give thought.
podcasts about games would have been like in the medieval ages?
I am familiar with the person to whom you are referring.
You don't know Turtle Biscuit?
Nope.
That's right. He is really good.
He's quite a big internet star.
Yeah, well, I'm not on the internet that much.
I mean, we're pretty big internet stars as well, but not as big as.
Yeah, we're not quite as big as.
We're absolutely massive internet stars. What are you on about? Nobody doesn't know us.
Wait, double negative?
Oh, you got me. You got me. You're too smart for me there.
Oh, you fucking slime! Stop killing the bunnies. I think this deserves it, you fucking cunt. Beeps. They're not apes or anything like that.
Motherfucking beeps.
Oh shit! Sorry, guess what?
What?
You know the underground jungle?
Yeah?
On this map, it's actually reached the surface of the world.
Really?
Yeah, I was
Overland jungle, just like a real one.
right where I am right now. The underground jungle is on the surface of the world.
Okay.
How the hell do you get an underground jungle?
Well, the underground jungle is a place that generates in every single map in Terraria, though.
I know, but just the concept is absurd.
It's a game.
Yeah, but an underground jungle? Underground jungle.
Some guy going around.
That's worse than a flying castle.
Segueing on to anime here.
No, there's flying castle in a lot of games.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's
Oh, there is actually, isn't there? There's one on Zelda. Corner of Time.
Yeah.
Actually,
Apparently.
a flying castle, more of a floating castle.
NHL.
there's also an underground.
There's one in Twilight Princess as well.
There's
There's
also
always
an
fucking one in Zelda games, isn't there? Jesus Christ.
there's also an underground castle in one particular game I can think of. It's not underground all the time. In fact, if it were to submerge, some angry villain types nearby might make obscure comments.
Yeah.
And you're gonna have to give us the
I
reference.
know in Final Fantasy VI there is a castle that travels underneath the floor.
Yeah.
Is this the castle to which you refer?
This is the castle to which I was referring.
Ah, very nice.